Welcome to the Zacas system. The Zacas system is a set of rules modifications designed for Warhammer 40k that were put together for the purpose of reinvigorating the Warhammer 40k community. Lately, other games like War Machine have been replacing Warhammer as a player's game of choice, but this system of modifications addresses and fixes the reasons why some players have been abandoning this game. With these modifications, players will be able to enjoy much quicker games without having to sacrifice the rich complexity that Warhammer 40k offers. In addition, these rules modifications bring Warhammer 40k up to speed with other games, like War Machine, in a centrally important way. These modifications make playing smaller games, like roughly 1,000 points, just as fun and enjoyable as playing larger games. Competitors like War Machine have long held this advantage over Warhammer, but now that changes. To make this happen, the Zacas system focuses on 4 main objectives. The first and original goal behind the Zacas system was to better portray the races and armies of Warhammer 40k, like getting rid of the Eldar Guardian. Who ever heard of elves being cannon fodder? The second goal came into being after much consideration and playtesting. It became apparent that during games, small arms like bolters and lasguns were often never used. Entire games revolved around shooting artillery and hammering the enemy at long range. The Zacas system addresses and fixes this problem. Now the third goal is the most important of them all. This goal was formed in direct response to the competition like War Machine enjoying a major advantage over Warhammer: the ability to have fun, skillful, challenging small games. Playtests using the Zacas system indicate that this goal has been achieved. Finally, the fourth goal, making games faster, is also massively important. The Zacas system addresses this in several ways, which will be detailed shortly. Now, in order to achieve these 4 main objectives, the Zacas system employs 9 modifications to the standard Warhammer 40k rule set. Here, these 9 modifications are listed chronologically, in the order that they were made. 1. The Reinforcement Rule. 2. Modifications to vehicle stats. 3. New rules for transports. 4. Modifications to ordnance. 5. Changes to cover saves. 6. The alternative system for movement and range finding. 7. Changes to the HGH combat system. 8. New rules for grenades. And finally 9. Various changes to the armies and equipment of Warhammer 40k, like scrapping the Guardian. Next, this presentation will show what each of these modifications is intended to do. For now, we won't explore the exact functions of these modifications. We'll save that for later. Right now, we'll just explore how each of these modifications improves the game. The first modification, the Reinforcement Rule, is designed mostly to enhance smaller games, and to dramatically increase the usefulness of small arms. Basically, what this change will accomplish is making it virtually impossible to eliminate squads of infantry at long range. The second modification, Changes to Vehicle Stats, is designed to make vehicles more survivable, particularly for smaller games. This change, combined with the Reinforcement Rule, work very, very well together. The third modification, the new Transport Rules, make moving infantry around the table significantly easier. In the past, armies have often been sluggish, barely mobile things that shoot at each other from across the table. This modification helps to change that. The fourth modification of the Zacas system is one of the most important modifications for improving small games. By reducing Ordnance's effectiveness against infantry squads, it ensures that Ordnance doesn't dominate the game and relegates it to being an important support piece for the army, particularly against monstrous creatures and heavily armored targets like Terminators. The fifth modification, Changes to Cover Saves, was made to help increase the strategic and tactical options available to players, especially in smaller games. Now, the sixth modification might be the most important of all the modifications because it makes playing games a lot faster. This alternative system for movement and range finding is also simple and easy to use. The seventh modification to the Zacas system is the changes made to the HGH combat system. These changes will improve the speed of games and also add a lot of new strategic and tactical options for players. The eighth modification also adds some more strategic and tactical flexibility by adding rules for frag and crack grenades. With this modification, players might actually be willing to spend a point or two to outfit their soldiers with these weapons. And finally, the ninth modification was made to improve the representation of the races and armies of Warhammer 40k. Again, like getting rid of the Guardian.